Blessed love to everyone, please lend me your ears. Let me just say that this month's video lecture is now available. It is a two-part video lecture entitled, Who is this King of Glory? This goes into the reality of Emperor Haile Selassie I. The first part, the first video lecture, actually goes into the coronation of the Shah of Iran, and we use that event to show how Haile Selassie I, amongst all the leaders of the world, is considered the King of Glory. That is something that you would have to watch to get properly. And then the second part, we take time to look at it from a theological level, to explain even from the biblical aspect, with reality added to it, that Haile Selassie I is the fulfillment of the prophecies of not only Bible, but other ancient spiritual writings. Again, my brothers and sisters, this is a two-part video lecture that we have produced for this month. Who is this King of Glory? And of course, the answer really is Haile Selassie I. So you could get the video of the video lecture, or you could get the audio version of the lecture given. It is two parts, and both parts, the video itself of the video lecture is only 50 United States dollars in currency, and the audio of the two-part lecture, Who is this King of Glory, is only $20, again United States currency. And of course, you could make your payment via PayPal, or you could also make your payment through any of the money transfer that are available. But for more information and to place your order, you contact us via our email, that is priestisaac27@gmail.com, for as these videos and the audios as well are e-products. So we will be sending it to you via your email, and you will be getting them in your inbox. Of course, all subscribers to our nightly program, The Shock of the Hour, will be definitely getting a copy of the audio and a copy of the video, the double-part, two-part lecture series, which is our video lecture for this month, Who is this King of Glory? But let me also say that anyone that will order the video lecture itself, two parts, only $50, we will give you a month's worth of the Shock of the Hour nightly recorded program. This is approximately 16 programs for the month, an hour plus for each program, nightly program, giving you enough information and inspiration. So again, email us priestisaac27@gmail.com and order video lecture and uplift their understanding and show it to the family. Who is this King of Glory? Bless.
Yeah, thunder bubble, whoosh, definitely, infinitely. It's the mystic vibration. Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. Selassie, I go before I clear I pass. Preserve I from the wicked ways. Yeah, honorable Priest Isaac. Yeah, aka academic chronic. Rastafari, bless the eye. Whoosh. Magnificent is the eye. Nah, lay low, nah, hold back. Rasta flash like lightning, Rasta roll like thunder. We nah lay low, nah, hold back. Hey, me flash like lightning, yeah, me roll like thunder. Nah, lay low, nah, hold back. Ayo, the Rasta say we flash like lightning and roll like thunder. We nah lay low, nah, hold back. Hey, we flash like lightning, yeah, me roll like thunder. Me a singer, you trust in the Father. This happen when you manifest Jaja. Emperor Haile Selassie is in Memphis, he does lion nah lay low, nah hold back. Mystic vibration, nah lay low, nah hold back. And a Robert, Priest Isaac, tell them, we nah lay low, nah hold back. Rasta flash like lightning, Rasta roll like thunder. We nah lay low, nah hold back. Hey, we flash like lightning, yeah, we roll like thunder. Surprise! Yeah, Coyote Rasta in the place. Yeah, man. Selassie is not an eye face. Push! Yeah, man, the most eyes within an eye. This is the mystic vibration. Yeah. Trumpet sound, word sound of power. Two things.
How wonderful it is.
Push!
How good and pleasant it is
Sanctify!
for us to dwell together in unity and love. Precious ointment that anointed their head. He even went down to the beard, Aaron's beard, skirt of his garments, his robe. Dew of Hermon, Mount Zion it is descending upon. Yeah, man, the Almighty promise and definitely commanded life and love forevermore. Thanks for your presence with us. Definitely with us in the tiger's nest. The joy it is that we could definitely sup in love. Give thanks to the Most High. Give thanks for the ever-living eye. Give thanks for the Almighty Eye. Selassie Eye. Jah Rastafari. You know, we did a program not too long ago speaking of the importance of that connection of the woman putting us together again. We were speaking about the family, and we highlighted the importance of the mythos of Aset or Isis. Of course, it shows you that the king Asa, the wrestling match between him and Set brought Asa to be destroyed and to be torn into different pieces. And Asa was scattered throughout the land. Definitely, it was his wife Aset who came forward and put him together again. And Anubis and Tahuti also played their part in seeing him resurrected. But one of the things that we had to highlight in that whole drama there is the importance of the sister, Isis. That's Isis, you know, that's Isis, my sister. That's why as a man you have to assist her, because she's your sis. And Isis, Aset, set him up. She put him together again and brought forth his generations, his son Heru. And this is where they even brought in the concept of the Immaculate Conception, where it says that the oblique, the teken or the phallic was not found. So as you can see, as we were speaking of in the other previous programs, speaking of the Bible and the language, etc. In fact, that's previous night program. We were showing you the importance of not only the language, but also understanding the theology that the language is written in. So Isis putting him back together, the Aset, the different scattered pieces, is very symbolic of us as people in general. And that is why when we did the episode on the family, I know you all can remember, we highlighted how important it is for us to recognize the divinity of woman in general. Because even if a woman may not be connected with herself, her feminine self, she is still divine. Because you've got to keep in mind that a lot of sisters, they may not want to admit it to you, and you may not even want to admit it to yourself. But a lot of sisters are not connected to their feminine self. They've lost their femininity. That's the truth. They may look pretty, especially when they're dolled up. They may look pretty, and sometimes the pretty stuff hides their true beauty. But they may look pretty, and they may look hot, and they may look tantalizing and tempting, and all of these words that goes with the lust that may be boiling inside of you. But that does not mean that they are in tune with their feminine self. I don't mean a woman that wears basketball clothes and baseball caps, and has her hair in cornrows and baggy jeans pants and boxer shorts underneath, and she has on her vest with a gold chain and a gun on it. Yeah, they obviously are separated from their feminine self too, but again, even those with the longest of weaves and the longest of fingernails and all the other amenities that we think a woman is supposed to have in this time, they may be more so separated from their feminine self. Because all of that, just like anything else, begins inside. Does a woman really understand the nature of a woman? The nature of the woman is to nurture. And a woman would get offended when you say that, as if you're trying to lock them up in a house or something. No, not at all. But that does not take away from the fact that the nature of a woman is to nurture. This ain't got nothing to do with house and housewife and all of that. That don't take away, man, from the nature of the woman. Nature is who made the woman with the breast to nurture the child. The man ain't got no breast to nurture nobody. It's on the woman. But you see, we want to run away, not just woman, man too. We want to run away from the natural essence that we all have as both man and woman. So, I still want to highlight today now the importance of the sisters. And remember, we also did a program dealing with Rastafari and the Orisha. Now I want to highlight somewhat that even in our little reasoning today. The Orisha. Now, within the ancient West African tradition, just like any African tradition, as I was saying, again, all stories belong to who? Anansi. And all that means, when I keep saying that, is that the science of telling our history, our culture, expressing our identity, even our theology, we express it in dance, in song, in play, in theater, in writing. And we usually express it in allegorical form, in esoteric form, in the mythos, in mythology. This is us. This is how we express ourselves. So in the story, there's a specific story known as Osha Oturu. And in Osha Oturu, it speaks about the same Orisha that we covered already. You know, the Obatala, Shango, and Ogun. These are usually the key ones that people, when you hear about the Orisha, you usually speak of Oshun, Ogun, and Shango, you know. And then now you also speak of Obatala, which really Obatala has a kind of authoritative position in a sense. Let's put it that way. I don't want to say the wrong thing and confuse it with Western tradition. But you could say he is the head as such over the Orisha to a degree. And there's still that which is over him. You know. So it is mystic. Because you have the Lord of the Rainbows, Oladumare. And it is he, Oladumare, the Lord of the Rainbows, that sent forth the Orisha, including Obatala and including Shango, you know, to fulfill a specific work, meaning to add to the creation process. So in our Oshu Oturu, we have that science that we all have grown accustomed to, that science of creation, like the Memphis Stella speaks about, the Shabaka stone, you know, Genesis, the Iluma Elish creational stories, the Mayan creation story, the four worlds, the creational stories exist. So in the Orisha version of this now, all of these deities were sent forth to bring life to creation itself. And you know that the Obatala, he was the individual that basically formed the human beings. You know, Shango, Obatala is considered the god of the white cloth, the god of the clouds. Shango now is seen as that god of fire and lightning, Shango. Ogun is considered the god of metal, and he's seen as, in some cases, described as the wild man of the jungle. But Oshun now, which is that goddess of the water, where I would also say they get the term ocean from, the Oshun. Although many times she is more connected to the rivers and the lakes and the springs, the water that you could, you know, say you could drink, what they may call sweet water. But anyway, in the Ashoturu, she is said to have accompanied the gods to complete the creational process of the earth. And the gods now said to themselves that, hey, listen, we don't need little yellow with us. Yellow, that's Oshun, her color is yellow. And they told her, listen, we can do this by ourselves. We prefer that you stay behind. And it is said that Oshun said, okay, if you think you can do this without me, well, it's up to you. And according to that story, she went to the moon and sat on the moon and took out a reflection of herself, a mirror, to the point that when you see some of the artwork, you would see Oshun leaning back, looking in a mirror, observing her own beauty, while Shango and Ogun and the rest of them were there trying to put creation together. So anyway, after a while, doing what they were doing, the brothers noticed that the waters of the planet were drying up. The lakes were drying up. The rivers were disappearing. And the spring was not springing anymore. And they wondered what's going on here. What could be wrong here? Why is it that all the water is disappearing? So they went and appeared before the God of the heavens, the Most High, basically, the God of the rainbow, the red, gold, and green. And they said to him, listen, my brother, you sent us. This is Oladuma really speaking to. You sent us to the earth. You sent us to furnish creation. And we were doing a good job. But then after a while, the waters began to dry up. And this is definitely interfering with our construct here. And remember, Obatala is the Lord of the clouds, so he should be able to bring water. So what's the problem here, Oladumare? Why is it that we have, had to stop the creational process to come and report to you? Where is the water gone? So Oladumare asked them, first of all, where is my daughter? Where is Oshun? Where is my sister? Where is the mother? Where is she that is the sustainer, the one with the breasts? Where is she? And the brothers reported that, women only get in the way. And we didn't need her, so we just told her to come back home. She didn't come back here. And he explained to them that this is why the mission is failing. Because I sent you out as a team. I sent you out as positive and negative. Oladumare speaking here. I sent you out like the battery in a car. It needs positive and negative to work. Like electricity, any electrician can tell you, you need positive and negative for anything to function. The male represents the positive, the female represents the negative. And let me just add here that these words are English words. And like many other English words, they're used in other contexts, in other ways, so as to mind bend you, to play with your intellect, to play with your conscience. So when you hear positive and negative, what is negative, by the way? Negative is something bad. But in the sense that we are speaking, negative is not bad. It is just two sides of the same. You need the positive and the negative to bring current to the house. In fact, if you wire the house with all negative, there will be no electricity. But if you wire it with all positive, you will burn the house down. Interested. Now the male is the positive and the female is the negative. So that means if you have all negative, well, you would not get the result you need. I agree, because you need light, you need electricity. But it's better that you have all negative and the house remains and you live in the dark. You would light a candle or use a flashlight or something. But if you wire the house with all positive, which represents the male, not only will you not have any electricity, in fact, you would have a lot of light, because the house will be on fire, burning down. And if you put that in the real aspect of life, we see that all the time. Women gather together, and you may judge them and say they ain't doing nothing. The ship ain't sailing out. But when the fellas gather together and they leave out the woman, the ship sink. At least with the woman, the ship wasn't sailing out, but at least you had a ship. But with the fellas, the ship sink. But the point is, they need each other. They need each other. But I was just highlighting that when you separate them, and you leave them out of the business of each other, one remains passive and one becomes detrimental. I would prefer to be with the passive, at least. At least it's not, fatal. So it became fatal when the brothers, the Ogun and the Shango and the others, thought that they could do it by themselves. And interestingly, the woman figure went and sat where? On the moon. This is science being expressed here. We all know that the moon deals directly with the water of the planet. The moon is the mother. The moon, the month, the cycle of the moon also is seen in the monthly cycle of the woman. When she releases her water, the Hathor that sent her menstruation throughout the land. So the water dried up when Oshun disappeared. This is storytelling, This is us expressing ourselves in our culture. Our griots taught us this, or griots, if you want to pronounce it that way. But the point is, this is our history, our culture, our religion, our theology being expressed in story form. This is seen also, all that I'm yapping here can also be seen in song and dance and in the theater. All stories belong to Anansi. So, what happened now? The God told them, the Most High, which is in this case Oladumare, told them, this is according to the Oshua Turu again. So Oladumare told Obatala that you and Ogun and Shango need to go and get Oshun, or else the mission that you were sent on will not be successful. And you see, brothers, this is why we got to show respect for the woman. I know some of us believe that, well, not necessary and all of that. And this is the world we live in today, where even the water of the planet Earth, even the water, the 3% of the water of the 70% of the planet is depleting. These killers are using and extracting billions of gallons of water from the natural aquifer of the planet. This is what happens in a male chauvinist, patriotic world. Nothing wrong with patriotic, but matriotic is also important too, to balance it off. So you can see this. In fact, just the whole nature of how we think about the woman alone shows you where we are. It may not seem so to you because we have grown accustomed to it. But even the white woman had to fight for her rights from her white men. Can you imagine that? That's just to show you how serious this chauvinist business is. Up to today, the woman is still seen as a sex object. And this is why now it's natural that the woman is different than the man, obviously. But this, we don't have no time for that even in our curriculum, to understand the difference between a male and a female. We just can see the difference and we think the buck stops right there. It's much more than that. So there's not a level of respect. There's not a level of appreciation. So there's only appreciation when we want something from each other. Then all of a sudden, we love you the most, and this and that, and candies and flowers and teddy bears. But outside of that, it's just like somebody else. Yeah. So this is why even the woman has lost that respect for herself. Oshun understood who she was. She told the brothers, yeah, you don't need me? Okay, let's wait and see. And she went and admired her beauty. She went and admired her beauty. Don't lose that point at all. She went and admired her beauty. Because the old people would say that the young women of today are prostituting themselves. Doesn't mean they're selling their body to no one. But as I said in other episodes, there are certain things that you wear that is considered, that identifies you. Let's put it that way. So if you were to put on the clothes of a police officer, even if you're not a police officer, people may mistake you for a police officer. So even the miniskirt, when you see the women have on her miniskirt, the skirt, a woman today, like today, at least in the society that I live in, a woman wears a tight jeans pants or a miniskirt. So the woman ain't gonna put on no long skirt, but she'll put on a miniskirt. That's the clothes of a prostitute. Now, obviously, a lot of sisters would be listening to me and they don't like to hear that because they're not prostitutes. I'm not saying that if you put on a miniskirt, you are a prostitute. I would never disrespect you like that. That's not even your fault. Some of you, you've been trained to dress like that. You think that that's the way, But the enemy knows that that is the way of a prostitute. So the enemy makes your fashion line the fashion line of a woman that's selling her body. And indirectly now, the woman of today begins to what? Sell her body. She is not even aware, some of us, or some of them, aware. Well, us, because I'm speaking in general, because my woman is me and I'm a woman. So I'm speaking of us. And they're not aware sometimes that that's what they're doing. They're selling their bodies. Of course, even a little baby going to school, the way that they design their uniform is to sell the body. From early, they condition the mind of the little girl to be selling and advertising herself. So I'm saying all of that to say, that's why the old people would have said, she's prostituting herself. An old granny don't realize that if she, the same granny, was born in the time that her grandchild was born in, she would be doing the same thing. It's a culture change that's taking place here. You gotta be a mighty strong woman not to get caught up in that. And trust me, around here, like where I'm living here, Carnival is just around the corner. And I'm telling you, you could see the sisters around here in the thousands rushing to these Carnival troop stores, buying their little bikini clothes to go and wink up and wind up on the streets of Antigua. And these little skimpy t-shirt and panties that they're buying, the price for these stuff is in the hundreds. $400, $500, $800 for a t-shirt and a little bathing suit, kind of skimpy little, G-string kind of stuff to go and express your nakedness to the world. The woman ain't necessarily prostituting themselves. The woman is protesting. I like to say she ain't prostituting. She is protesting. Isaiah speaks about this. Chapter 3. All the different apparels and garments that the woman wear today. We already see this in Isaiah chapter 3. And why did she resort to such a way of protesting then? Because all the great men of war have fallen in the battle. Yeah. So when Oshun now, you listening to me? when Oshun realized that the brothers did not respect her, when Oshun, the woman sent by God Almighty to help the brothers to create the world, they wanted to do this without water. They wanted to leave the moon out of this. They don't need no moon. They don't need no woman. They can do this by themselves. Maybe when they get a little lustful and some passion starts to brew, she can come on home and we have a little fun, and then when we're done, we send her back. That's how we think as brothers, yeah. Don't try to deny me this. And yet still, when she realized that she has no respect, whether she consciously or unconsciously did it, she went and sat on the moon. And what did she do? What did Oshun do when she was rejected by her brothers? She pulled out a mirror and started to observe her own beauty. We have expressed this in many different ways, you know. Who and Sa? How many of you remember or are connected to the Who and Sa story when we broke down the importance of seeing male and female in both male and female? Who can remember all of this? And that we are all made up of 70% of water, the feminine. Who can remember all of this? And we show that the 70% of us, both male and female, the water is our blood that runs through our vein. Can we recall this? The salinity of the blood and the salinity of the sea and the saltiness and the SA, the sun. I'm sure we can remember this. The black woman's presence in the African concept of God. The sanctity, the sacrifice, the Sabbath, the sacredness, the sanctification, you know, sanctuary, you know, the Sa, the saltiness, the salinity, the seawater, the Sa, the Who and the Sa. Sa in this sense is feminine. The Who and the Sa, the fire and the water, the salt water, all the Sa saviors come out of the water. All the saviors come out of the water bag. The Na, you remember all of this for our real followers, our real scholars and students. The Na, nativity, nationhood, name me Na, the natorium, the swimming pool, the Na, the sodium, the Saddam. You remember all of this, I'm sure. I'm sure. We don't do these programs for fun, you know. Some people say, oh, you talk too long. Well, not you. I know you don't say that, but other people. Sometimes when you take a program and you put it on YouTube, people tell you take too long. Who is them? You're giving... What's wrong with these people here? This is an exclusive program that we give to people that pay for this. You lucky. Although lucky is the devil. You lucky. Lucifer, man, L-U-C. You didn't get it. Lucky. Old people that say so lucky is the devil. You're lucky we put it on YouTube for you. Even the people that pay for them program have the right to say, but King, I pay for you give them people for free. And they still tell you, oh, it's too long. What too long? It's an hour program. What do you mean too long? Oh, you take too long to get to the topic. Who's you? This is a radio program that is recorded and specific subscribers get it. And one out of maybe 6-7 programs we may say, put that on the YouTube so the YouTube fans could see what's going on. They didn't tell me about no program long. What I'm saying is sometimes these programs do go long because we have to fetch back things that we've said sometimes years ago to show you how they fit in here. So again, the Sodom, the sodium, the Siddim, the salty sea, the salty world that's within your veins, looking back and turning to a pillar of salt. When the woman looked back, coming out of Sodom, she turned to sodium. Got caught up. Now that don't mean she turned to no salt. She got caught up again. The wife of Lot got caught up again in the life of Sodom, which is the physical world. The salt, the salinity of the 70% of the water that runs through your veins. No water in your vein, it's blood. The salinity, the salty world, the fleshly world. That's why when you return to the fleshly world, or when you live in a fleshly world and you're into your beauty and you don't care about nothing else but how you look, people say you are very vain. You're what? You are very vain. Say that again. You are very vain. Where does the blood run? Through your veins. The salty world. The Sodom, the Siddim. These points have been made before. The salty world. Sa, Hu and Sa, Gemini, Castor and Pollux. And I'm sure you understand we have detailed all of this before. But I'm saying all of this just to say that when Oshun now, the water, the ocean, was rejected by her brothers who should have been taking care of her, she went and put on a miniskirt. Huh? What? Hey, I catch you there. What did she do? She went to the moon and looked in her reflection, a mirror. If you see the pictures of Oshun sitting down, sometimes you see her in the forest looking at her reflection in her vanity. In her what? In her vanity. That's what you call the mirror of a celebrity that loves to see their beauty. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Her vanity. Vain. You're too vain. You're too vain. Blood runs through the vein. So that brings us back to Isaiah chapter 3. Hey, you may need to listen to this several times. That brings us back to Isaiah chapter 3. When all the great ones, the mighty man, the chief man have all gone and fallen in the way and fallen at the hand of the enslaver and have lost their manhood and forgotten who they really are and given up their kingship for the paupership. The woman is disappointed. You don't expect me to follow you, woman talking. You don't expect me to allow you to be my husbandman, not just husbandman. Husbandman, not just husband. Husbandman, a husbandman. Do you know what's a husbandman? That's where the word comes from. Like I've been saying, the ISIS is to assist, the asset. That's your sis, that's ISIS, so I assist her. The husbandman is the man that comes and prunes. He comes and prunes the vineyard. So as a husband, we should be pruning our vineyard. Let the flowers grow happily and properly. But a lot of us as husbandman, we can't tell when last we've been in the garden. Some of us, we only want to go in the garden when we're hungry, to go pick a fruit. And when our belly full, we out. You're supposed to visit the garden regularly, not necessarily to eat anything. I hope you're reading between the lines. But to prune the gardens and, take out the weeds and make sure that the plants are happy. And they will bear you good fruit. So Ogun and Oshun and Ogun, and Obatala and Shango and the other, they were not understanding according to the Osha Oturu, which is the story of the Orisha. They were not comprehending the value of Sister Yellow. They were not comprehending the value of Oshun. of the water. No, they sent her away. And when they sent her away, their works could not flourish. And they went to the master, and he told them, you need to fetch the water. You need to fetch her from the moon. Get her away from looking at her reflection all day long and seeing how beautiful or how pretty she could look. Put her to work. She has a value. She's losing her femininity. Put her to work. Let her spring forth rivers for you. Let her spring forth springs for you. She will fill the lake. O Batala, you are the God of the clouds. Where is your rain? Go and get Oshun. And listen, according to the story, the Most High asked them to apologize to her. And she accepted their apology. And she told them, in no uncertain terms, please, don't let this ever happen again. So my brothers, let us respect our Oshun. Not necessarily your personal woman. Well, obviously, I would hope that you respect her. But let us see the value in the woman in general. Because when we don't do that, a lot of the things that we complain about, it's because of us neglecting her. So when you see her taken up in her skin and putting marks all over her to draw your attention, you may be surprised, but in many cases she don't really want to do this, you know. But she needs attention. She needs someone to at least appreciate her true beauty. So when you don't see the beauty within, she will try to show you the beauty without, because it seems like that's what you like. You like to see the rolling butt. Let's get, come on. Nobody act like, what you saying there? Don't come, look, listen. You love to see the jingling breasts. So she's gonna put tiger paws in tattoo form on them and expose them enough that you could at least give her an eye. You hardly look at her. So she's gonna do something to make sure you don't stop staring. And then she's gonna go on her little phone and act as if you're not around and knows that she's putting on a show for you. She went on the moon and took out her mirror. I am telling you, that's how serious it is, my brothers. So we as brothers, we need to get in tune, that's for sure. We need to connect with the woman properly, not only one-on-one, but within yourself. Just your consciousness needs to realize the beauty, the true beauty of the woman, and utilize that beauty, not the prettiness in her, and not even her physical beauty alone. I'm talking the beauty within. According to the same story, Oshun also, like many others, brought forward that Immaculate Conception. She, as some would say, she went in upon herself and then brought forward Elegba, a new creation. So look how powerful she is, again showing you. And it may sound strange because I definitely don't believe in, I don't ascribe to this phrase at all. But in one sense, it's kind of bringing to light what many sisters like to say nowadays. I don't need no man. You know, yeah. Because she went in upon her own self and brought forth Elegba. That's Oshun. And I know a lot of you know the story already, but you can just appreciate, I guess, my version of it or my outlook. So we gotta start, and I don't mean this fake appreciation of woman. Some of us have this sort of fake appreciation, and I hear it all the time, and it disgusts me. The black woman is God stuff. I mean, it hurts me, man, because I know, I'm telling you, I'm a man. I am a man, brother. I know that a lot of fellas play that woman is God business for more than just appreciation. Yeah. You ever hear the song, I can't remember who it was that sang it, about wanna get in them jeans? Well, I am sure that a lot of brothers keep up that woman on a pedestal business just to get in the jeans. I'm sure. You're not thinking of taking her out of them jeans that's destroying her whole womb and giving her fibroids and all them and causing what it is the woman has when she wear a lot of them jeans. What do you call it, dear princess? When the woman oh man, yeast infection. Okay, I got it. Yeast infection. A lot of these tight jeans and all of them stuff give the woman yeast infection. So before you get her out of the jeans, you want to go in the jeans. Even if it's that you want to do. Why you want to go in the jeans? Even if that's what you want to do, get her out the jeans. And before you do that, put her in a long skirt, man. Don't worry about that. That will come in the right time, man. Let's work with nature, man. Forget about the young and the restless. Forget about the bold and the beautiful. They ain't bold and they're not beautiful. They're right, they're restless and reckless. Days of our lives, and as the world turns, you will end up in the general hospital with all my children and all them crap that we grew up on. Well, didn't really grow up on it, like we didn't watch it as brothers, but we all have a sister that was deep into them stuff. Because they're taking away your femininity. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, the color of Oshun is yellow. That's my favorite color, basically, as such. I love the yellow. And give thanks for all matriarchs. Give thanks to the patriarchs as well. Father and mother of creation. So give thanks. And it is a joy. And we need to all go within ourselves to reconnect ourselves with ourselves. And that is the importance of our ancient African traditional stories, you know, of which we can also see even in the Bible. You know. This is the importance of our ancient African traditional stories. They connect us with ourselves, with our anciency and our royalty, you know, and that is why it's important for us, both man and woman, to respect each other. You know, we are far, you know, we have been far removed from that respect. That has been beaten out of us. That has been torn away from us. And now we are at the stage where we need to, if you want to say, patch it back together again. You understand, my brothers and sisters? So, love and harmony, Ashe, you know, Alafia, well, that should have been the greeting. I love my African traditions. That's why you see me so connected with them. I love them, and all of them. I love my African tradition. I love my African languages. I love my African culture. You know what I mean? I ain't killing no chicken. I ain't spilling no goat blood, but you know, I ain't drinking no cow blood or no cow milk. But from a distance, I can show appreciation. I love it, and I love you all, man. You know, love is really the key. We just use the term love, you know. But love, man, that force of caring and sharing and appreciation and wanting not to harm. Yeah, man. Selassie, Jah Rastafari. Love. Blessed love to everyone, please lend me your ears. Let me just say that this month's video lecture is now available. It is a two-part video lecture entitled, Who is this King of Glory? This goes into the reality of Emperor Haile Selassie I. The first part, the first video lecture, actually goes into the coronation of the Shah of Iran, and we use that event to show how Haile Selassie I, amongst all the leaders of the world, is considered the King of Glory. That is something that you would have to watch to get properly. And then the second part, we take time to look at it from a theological level, to explain even from the biblical aspect, with reality added to it, that Haile Selassie I is the fulfillment of the prophecies of not only Bible, but other ancient spiritual writings. Again, my brothers and sisters, this is a two-part video lecture that we have produced for this month. Who is this King of Glory? And of course, the answer really is Haile Selassie I. So you could get the video of the video lecture, or you could get the audio version of the lecture given. It is two parts, and both parts, the video itself of the video lecture is only 50 United States dollars in currency, and the audio of the two-part lecture, Who is this King of Glory, is only $20, again United States currency. And of course, you could make your payment via PayPal, or you could also make your payment through any of the money transfer that are available. But for more information and to place your order, you contact us via our email, that is priestisaac27@gmail.com, for as these videos and the audios as well are e-products. So we will be sending it to you via your email, and you will be getting them in your inbox. Of course, all subscribers to our nightly program, The Shock of the Hour, will be definitely getting a copy of the audio and a copy of the video, the double-part, two-part lecture series, which is our video lecture for this month, Who is this King of Glory? But let me also say that anyone that will order the video lecture itself, two parts, only $50, we will give you a month's worth of the Shock of the Hour nightly recorded program. This is approximately 16 programs for the month, an hour plus for each program, nightly program, giving you enough information and inspiration. So again, email us priestisaac27@gmail.com and order video lecture and uplift their understanding and show it to the family. Who is this King of Glory? Bless.